What's going on, everybody? Before I get into this video, I just wanted to thank everybody who's been interacting with my content the past, whatever it is, few weeks. I never really thought that my videos would reach any type of audience. I didn't think anybody would view these videos, but I already got a few videos over 100 views, and that's crazy. So shout out to y'all, man. That's crazy. Anyways, y'all see the title. You know what we're talking about. Dating apps. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I feel like everybody who is, at least if you're of age to use dating apps, it's like 18 plus, right? I think it gets to a point where everybody's just like, why am I even using this? I think it makes you feel more distant from reality because you don't have to like cold approach women in real life. You could just hop on the dating apps, show people the best pictures of yourself, and for some people I think it's like a validation thing. Like you want to see if people are attracted to you. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think where dating apps become problematic is I think it's just the fact that you have so many options and you can literally just pick and choose which ones that you're interested in. And like the whole options thing, that's something that, at least in my eyes, is a little bit concerning, right? Because I don't know, I think it just makes you care less about like specific relationships. Like if you have a roster of like, let's just say you got 5 women on Tinder who you matched with, and let's just say option 1 is really pretty, but maybe your views don't align or something like that. It's just so easy to cut them off and not even try to pursue the relationship. And so it's just so quick, it's so rapid. And I don't know, I was watching this video yesterday. I don't know exactly who it was made by, but this guy was in London and he was street interviewing people about their opinions on dating apps. And like I said earlier, I think it's a consensus among people who have any sort of knowledge of how dating apps work that they're not good, like they're not beneficial. Like, yeah, there are some instances where you could find a real partner on a dating app, but I think it's rare. Like, I think it's few and far between. And like everybody in this video who this guy was interviewing was just like, yeah, like, because it's not good. Like, dating apps are not beneficial and this, that, and the other. Basically how you would expect those conversations to go down. But it had me thinking, because I'm like, well, as somebody who has used dating apps, like especially in college, I think like in a college town, there's a bunch of people, actually it's not even just college towns, it's people everywhere. People who would rather just swipe on Tinder, like I said earlier, than go out and like just talk to people. And I think that's a very like troubling sign for our society. I don't want to sound like, I don't want to sound dumb or anything, but like look at it like this. In prior generations, like you could talk to anybody from previous generations and they'll tell you like, man, I feel bad for y'all generation. Like everything is online, and any sort of interaction that you have on the dating apps, I think it builds like a certain sense of comfort to where it's like, oh yeah, I don't have to talk to women in real life. I could just sit on the dating apps and then hope something comes my way. And I think that's such an unhealthy way of thinking. And I want to know in the comments, like, what do y'all use dating apps for? Like, do you really think that you could find a long-lasting relationship off of a dating app? Like, I really do think anybody who thinks that is just a little bit deluded. Like, anytime I've used a dating app, and I'm not gonna lie, I I said that I was going to delete them, I think in a previous video, but I relapsed, man. Like, I think I've just been like deprived of interaction with women, so I'm just like, I need some validation. Like, let's see who ends up liking my profile. But like, I know that, like, speaking of validation, like, people who get on dating apps, I think most people know that they're not gonna find their future spouse, and it is more of just like a validation thing. And like I said earlier, I don't think that that is an inherently like bad way to approach it, because I think that if the option is there for you to see like who thinks you're attractive, I want to say that most people would take it. And I think most people my age who I know have at least like tried a dating app, like maybe not used it for a long time, but have at least tried it out. And I do think that if you want to find a long-lasting partner, like, it's gonna take something else other than a dating app. Like, you're gonna have to go out, you're gonna have to like join a club or something, you're gonna have to get involved in some sort of like societal activities for you to really meet the person who you're supposed to be with. Honestly, like, the future of dating is really scary, because if it's this bad now, man, I don't even want to think about what it's going to look like 100 years from now. Like, I really do think people are going to continue to just further isolate themselves from reality, and that's like really scary. And I think somebody as myself, I believe that like people will come into your life as they are supposed to, as they are needed. Like, I'm trying to put this in a way that's not like make me sound crazy, but I think that we are divinely guided, and so are the people in our lives. And so I think the person who you're gonna end up being with is going to enter your life naturally, and it's not gonna be something where you find them on a dating app. I mean, it could be. I've had relationships on dating apps, not like serious ones, but still, like, it ended up turning into something other than just like interacting on the phone. But I'm a single man now, and as you can see, none of those relationships ended up lasting. And I just feel like I think your first interaction with somebody has to be in person, because even if I'm posting like my best looks and all of that on Hinge or something like that, like, you're never gonna really be able to get the full picture until you talk to me in real life. And that's kind of how I feel, because I mean, maybe I'm a little bit salty because a lot of times I use dating apps, like, I think sometimes I just don't get the interactions that I want. Like if I see somebody who I'm really, really attracted to and I'm just like, whoa, like, sign me up, they're not always gonna like you back. And so it's sometimes like a crushing feeling. You're like, wow, like, am I really only attractive to this kind of woman and like nobody else? Like, nobody else, I don't know. I think it just creates all different types of avenues for insecurities. And I mean, like, we've established that it's not a good thing for society, right? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's bad right now, like I said, but I don't even want to imagine how much disruption it's going to cause in society, maybe even like 10, 20 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, dating apps didn't exist. I mean, maybe they existed 10 years ago, but it's bad now, man. Like, I know people who solely rely on dating apps, and it's just like, bro, do you really think you're going to find the one? And I see girls on dating apps who they're looking for long-term relationships, and I'm just like, do you really think men who are like within the ages of 18 to 25 are on a dating app to find their partner? Like, probably not, bro. Probably not. I hate to break it to you, but probably not. I don't know. Those are just kind of some thoughts that I have regarding the dating apps. If there was going to be one grand message to give you for this video, it would just be like, go out, bro. Like, just talk to women and don't be afraid to like start up some random conversation. Like, if you go to the gym, just practice interacting with women and practice like not being weird around them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to the gym, and if a girl's using a machine that you want to use, just be like, yo, excuse me, how many more sets do you have on this machine? And just like be playful with it. Don't act weird. Just get used to talking to women in real life, because I think, like I said, the biggest problem that dating apps have created is this idea that you don't have to talk to women in person. You could just rely on the dating apps, and it's super unhealthy. And I think guys have lost the ability to speak to women in real life, and it's kind of weird. And there's people I know who find it weird that I have women friends, like platonic relationships with women, and they're just like, whoa. Like I've had people ask me if a woman friend of mine was my girlfriend, and I'm just like, what made you think that? Other than the fact that she's a woman and she is like physically next to me, that means that they have to be my partner? And I think the fact that assumptions like that are being made is concerning within itself, because it's like, when do we normalize not having relationships with women that aren't romantic? I don't know. Those are just like a bunch of thoughts that I have about this. And I want this to be open-ended. Hopefully everybody who sees this, I kind of want to hear some input in the comments. Like, what do you use dating apps for? What do you think the future of the dating scene looks like? And do you think there's any benefit in using dating apps? Because I feel like nowadays all we hear is negative talk about them, and I do think it's warranted for the most part. But like, do you think there's any upside of having dating apps? Like, I think maybe the only upside would be if you were a low confidence person and you get on the dating apps, and you know, maybe miraculously you get a bunch of likes, and you're like, whoa, like this boosts my confidence quite a bit. So then that would prompt you to potentially go out and be more confident speaking to women in real life. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm getting so many interactions on the dating apps, like maybe I should just stick to them. I don't know. It's a whole, like, it's so many avenues for discussion here. Yeah, I hope y'all have been doing good. But yeah, man, please let me know how you feel in the comments, and we could continue talking about this further, because I think it's a problem. And like I say, I relapsed on the dating apps yesterday. I had to get back on and just get some interaction, because I don't have socials anymore other than Instagram, and I only really like scroll on my feed a little bit. But I don't know. I'm just gonna end it here because it's getting long. But yeah, y'all let me know how you feel in the comments.